Ready your weapons, guys. It's time to dive into a 30 Days Reforged Siege Battle replay today at Bar Sagar 3v5. Today's replay comes from the Winged Swordsman, one of 3 defending armies today, who is commanding the realm of Rudar before us. If you want to see your own Total War replay featured right here on this very channel, don't forget to check out those links you'll find in the video description below, which of course is my email, scoutsentertainment@gmail.com, or joining my Discord server, Scouts Reconnaissance, and posting your Total War replay right there. And with that, let's get in with this battle today. We have some Rudar Swordsmen, some Freedom Javelins, some Harridan Pikes, Harridan Rangers, and some Rudar Marksmen. Looks to be 2 units there. We got some Rudar Swords here, Richard Slavers, more Freedom Javelins. We have some Harridan Berserkers, 2 units there, 2 units of Ethamor's Troll Hunters. Harridan Pikemen on the front lines, not the best idea, Wings. I would prefer if you don't do that straight away. Maybe bring them up later. If you've got Diamond Pikemen, send them in. We have some Blackwolds, 2 units there, some Rudar Swordsmen. Obviously, I think move some Rudar Swordsmen up with the Diamond Pikemen. If he doesn't have any Diamond Pikemen, move them up and put them just in front of the Harridan Pikes. You know, act as a meat shield. Try to use those shields to protect your Pikes for as long as possible. Obviously, the defenders will try and bring them down with their own missiles. Now, does he have anything else in the vicinity? I can't really see that for now. So let's move to his allies here. That's a pretty small army there. We have Lindon, given by Darthy Darth, who's got some Mython Pikemen leading the way, some Noldorin Blade Masters, Mython Sword Masters, couple units there it would seem. We've got some Noldorin Guard, maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 units there. It's a crap ton of Noldorin Guard. Don't usually see so many. We have some Harlan Infantry there, 2 or 3 units, some Mython Marines, I'm going to say 2 units there as well. Wardens of Elis Tyrion, Harlan Guard, 3 units of Harlan Guard in fact. Now, I don't see any fallen on Marines, and I don't see any fallen on Pikemen, but we will watch out for them, and we'll move on to the last defender today, who's going to be defending this side of the city, obviously. And it is Dorwinian, given by Diego Rio et Ramos, who's got some Evelyn Vanguard, 2 units there, maybe 3 total. Got some Evelyn Infantry, 3 to 4 units there of them. Some Evelyn Marksmen, 2 units, a Catapult. Some Maquindi Glade Lords, let me try and leave them outside the city, or save them for the late game where the attackers are running through the streets. Potentially Glade Lords can get some decent charges. Never underestimate using cavalry inside the city. With Master Blast has proven that you can get a crap ton of kills using cav inside a city. Grimslade is a replay, I remember that one that he did. We have some Maquindi Pikes, 2 units there. We have some Maquindi Glade Masters, Maquindi Bows, 2 units. More Vanguard, Nandor Glade Guard, and somewhere amongst this blob of forces is the Evelyn Hammer Guard. Obviously worth keeping an eye out for. I really thought I'd be able to see the Hammer Guard. I mean, they usually stand out. Oh, they're right there. Okay. Good. The world makes sense again that they're there. Okay, making our way across the Bar Sagar Valley, we have Imladris, commanded by Joey One Kenobi. Hello there. We have some Gwathai Arthend, some Gwathai Modan, some Swordmasters, Brunine River Wards, Eldami Spearmen 2 units, Nuntina Warriors 2 units, and some more Brunine River Wards. Over here we have some Swords Rivendale, 3 units there, maybe 4. All appear to be armoured up. Yep, they are. We have some Malaria Sentries, 2 units there. That's adamant. One thing I didn't see from this is the Godhelm NUR. I also didn't see any Eldami Archers. So Joey Kenobi's gone very light on the Archers. He's only brought some Nuntina Warriors along. Alright. We have his ally here, Adaman, who's commanding Umbar. We got some Corsair Fencers out front, 2 units of Blackguard, not Blackguard, Balagan Axe Guard there, 2 units. He's a bit of a faux pas there. 2 units of Belaga Footmen, some Harbingers of Casimir, 2 units of Coronatus Legion, some Corsair Crossbows, some Belaga Archers, 2 units of Corsair Infantry. We have Mordor, commanded by Proxima Centauri, who's got a Troll Catapult. That army was a little bit small for Umbar as well. Alright, where's the rest of Mordor's army? He's just sending the catapult this way, maybe. Through the valley, we have the rest of his army. We got some Moron Halberds, some Moron, 2 units there, Moron Halberds, some Olag High. We've got some Arthanane troops coming by ... He's got some Evident archers there. Some Nazgul, some Arthanane men-at-arms, 2 or 3 units there. Not armoured. Doesn't look like any troops are armoured except for the Arthanane pikemen. And maybe the Duno peacekeepers, I can never really tell. So Arthanane men-at-arms there maybe. 2 to 3 units there of Arthanane pikes. Some Orc javelins, about 2 units there of them. We have Gondor coming by Purbiton, who's got some Fountain Guard over here. Gaza with Skiliath. Gondor infantry. Gondor archers, half armoured. What else we got? Dismounted Forestarian Knights. Some Axemen of Lostnark. Wardens of the White Tower. Gondor Militia. Pelican Marines. 2 units of Raymond Helms of Caer Andros, maybe. Some Dismounted Forestarian Knights again. Gondor Spearmen. Gondor Infantry. Half armoured. Nithon Honor Guard. Axemen of Lostnark. Fully armoured. Gondor Archers, Gondor Infantry, and Gondor Spearmen, and some Arthanane Marksmen. Some more infantry is over here, and that's about it there. So we have Gondor, Arthanane, Mordor, Umbar, and Imladris are on the attacking side today. Now the catapult isn't firing into the valley. Usually we always see a trebuchet or a catapult fire into the valley at some point. Ah, there's a Black Guard of Barad-dûr. I was wondering where they were. I didn't see any Sauron's Will either, and there they are, right there. As soon as I say something, they appear. I wonder if he bought any Temple Executioners or Temple Guard. There's a Temple Guard right there. Alright guys, so we'll do some cut and come back once the first shot is fired. Guys, we're back a little bit prematurely because I thought this was just funny to point out. We have some Rudar swordsmen that Winged accidentally forgot about during the deployment phase, and they were deployed outside the city. He's going to have to run them around the whole hillside, back to where the attackers deployed, in the valley over here, and wait until the opportune moment to charge into the enemy and attack him in the rear. Now, I wish him the best of luck. Rudar Swordsman doesn't have the best morale, and so he's really got to time the attack to perfection. Otherwise, he'll march him around the whole way into the fray, like get them to attack, and then they'll break almost instantly. Because they're so far away from the rest of the army. Now, Proxima, come on, man, this is a rookie mistake. Moving up your allied high, being shot at, they're going to be bloodied up. One of them's already bloodied. Luckily for him, Joey stopped firing. Maybe he should have kept firing. He was getting some nice hits on the allied high. They fired the catapults and got 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Maybe try and target the Black Guard of Barad-dûr. They're embedded amongst a lot of units, and a spray from the catapult would hit multiple forces. Could be good. Oh, 1 good shot there. Oh, 2 shots. First one was a bit too short, but still got some kills. Second one was beautiful. Third one was alright. Get your forces out of there, guys. Temple Guard could be vulnerable to a good catapult shot, but it's a flip of the coin. As to whether or not you actually get a nice shot right in the middle of them. Maybe you're better off saving that cata ammo now until the attacking forces enter the city. Proxima has brought up the Olag Kai to the front lines far sooner than I would have expected. But maybe he's just going to leave them there for a long time until the attack is well underway, and that they're just close by, and he'll send them through when he wants to try and break through, maybe at a pivotal point. There you go, a lot of arrows coming in from the Rudar marksmen, but they are light tier archers. Rudar swordsman is embedded, so Wing knows what he's doing.
We're under attack.
I would be confident to let Proxima I'll tell Proxima to keep firing until he's out of ammunition. Given their rate of fire and how fast they're falling, it does seem like the javelins will be able to use most of their ammunition, if not all of it, before they reach maybe 20 orc javelins. Maybe ease up on the marksman ammunition now. He's trying to get cover behind the building. It seems to be working. And then they do that. Okay. That's a nice shot. The troll shaxers can't keep firing like that. Alright, Wing, that's enough. Don't go too overboard. You've got to save that troll shaxer ammo for later. I don't know if you have 2 units of them. The best you can do is maybe get Joey to... Is that not Joey's good ladder, sorry. Darthy to fire a volley in to try and break these orc javelins, or send up some rude-ass swordsmen to break them. So Proxima will stay here and he'll just fire until he's out of ammunition. Yeah, Wing shouldn't tolerate that. If Wing allows Proxima to continue firing like this, he might as well have not fired into his forces at all before, because, well, he killed all these javelins to stop them from shooting his forces, right? And although they're down to 12, they'll keep firing until they're out, and they'll do the same amount of damage as if the unit was all still alive and firing all together. So instead of using up all their ammunition in maybe 20 seconds, even after they'll fire over a space of maybe 10 minutes, and they'll still do the same amount of kills, or damage, if that makes sense. Now, hold your fire. That fire is way too wild. You can get a single kill. No, don't use the troll actualist. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ah! It still didn't break him. Ah, Wayne, that was not a good use of ammunition, buddy. Send in the ruler swords to clean it up. Alright. Geez, the Grey Company moved up. They tried to fire into the Lindon and Dorwinian forces. It doesn't seem like they succeeded. Or if they did, no one died. Looking good. Oh, nice shot there. Really good shot. Just want to go up here on the hilltop. No, there's no troops up here. No archers. This would be a good spot for the Wardens of Elisterion. Potentially. Great shot. Nicely done. Took out a chunk of the Mython Marines and Evelyn Marksmen. Almost 20 of them, in fact. Looks a little bit high, that one. Diego needs to get his troops to safety. See, these men here probably don't need to be here. Move the... He's got 2 units of Evelyn Marksmen mixed in with each other. This would be a good target for the catapults since they're not moving them. What the hell? I think he's trying to target the Dorwinian catapults. Nah, move that elsewhere, man. Basically, move these 2 units of marksmen behind the building until they're ready to be used. Use the ammunition over the first one, then rotate them. Keep the other ones safe and in reserve. Don't leave them exposed like this. I mean, the fans are getting pretty fortunate here with those shots. I don't know why the catapult is trying to bring down the Dorwinian catapult. It's pretty well protected. He's just wasting ammunition. He started off very well with his usage of the catapult, and it's sort of gone downhill a little bit from there. Nice shot, good shot. These are unnecessary casualties right now. Diego is suffering. Oh, geez, that was painful. That was bad. Nearly 20 dead there. Diego, I swear, man, get your troops behind that damn building. Come on. You've lost like 100 troops. That all could have been avoided. So we've got some hidden forces here. Nandor Glade Guard. Alright, how's it going over here? We got some orc fodder. Who's shooting at him? That looks like Herodane Rangers. It was. The Orc fodder might have been in tight formation. You know, I've always been a proponent of firing 1 or 2 volleys into such a unit, just to sort of, you know, kneecap them, so they become almost useless to the player that's trying to use them. So the Orc Javelins are still alive. Those original 2. Proxima should just let those guys fire. I mean, they're just standing there, might as well use the ammunition. The Harlan Guard could have fired 1 volley to wipe them out. But, you know, if they're going to leave them there, that's fine. Proxima is just I don't know what they're waiting for actually anymore, because it seems like they're stationed and ready to go with the first wave. So, I'm not really too sure what they're waiting for, what the catalyst is going to be for them to march. But eventually they're going to charge in at some point. I mean, already over here, the attack is well underway. Oh, nice. This is too good. Diego is just being annihilated. Unlucky, Diego. Truly. He's not moving his forces out of the way. And, you know, full credit to ... for pressing the attack. If your enemy is going to stay where you can shoot him, then that's on them. And credit goes to you for just taking the initiative and pressing the attack like this. He is going to make these units useless before they even enter the first battle, the first fight. They're going to fall almost as soon as they enter the fray. Although most of them are still alive, all those 3 units there, they're heavily damaged. They shouldn't rely on them to hold the line very long. Not by themselves, at least. Now, I'm rooting for Diego. I hope he can turn things around, but he's had a really bad start this battle. Not his day today, it seems. And we've all been there. You know, I myself killed my own general, so... I can relate to having bad days. And if that was me, I would feel just as gutted. And, you know... There's still time for Diego to turn things around. I mean, how do you do that? With a catapult moving up? Diego probably needs to bring his own catapult down here. Or, at the very least, initiate a mass push towards the catapult. Try and get into the ranks of those trolls. He can't stay here. They have to move. They got to attack or pull back. They cannot tolerate the presence of that catapult there. Diego's forces are going to be wiped out. Darthy's got to tell Diego. If Diego's not aware, then Darthy's got to tell him. Oh, jeez, come on. Guys, move. You're making too many mistakes. Let's go. Ah. You can't write these troops off like a tax deduction. Don't throw away your units like this. Come on, get them out of there. You don't get the same benefits from losing these units. Oh boy. Diego unfortunately killed his own troops. Just unlucky. 8% to 6%. Not what you want to see as a defender at the very beginning of the battle. This is where your enemy's supposed to lose tons of troops trying to break through your defenses. You're supposed to be up at this point. They're supposed to be the ones down more. Proxima's got those 2 javelins firing. The attack over here is probably going so well that dot 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 and Adam's actually over here. Dot 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 Proxima on the other side there as well, and Pemberton. They're just sort of waiting to see how far their allies can get through here before they attack. Now, I don't know if this is just true, but Diego might have been AFK too at some point. I'm not too sure. Now, he's the Winnian Pikes. They're holding the line well. Nendor Glade Guard's backing them up. With the Marines, looks like they've thrown all their javelins and now in the fray as well. I think Diego needs to send up another unit here just to sort of reinforce the flanks. Because you can see the way the McQueenie Pikes are pressing right now, it's kind of like an arrowhead formation. And that makes their flanks, the flanks of the pikemen a bit vulnerable to attack. Now we've got some Axeman Lost coming in. There's no javelin units here. I think the archers would struggle to hit, well, some of the archer units would struggle to hit those Axeman Lost. 9% to 8%. Defenders clawed back 1 percentage point. This is where the wards versus Tyrion on that hilltop come in handy. They would have the angle to fire into those troops and take the wind out of the attacker's sails. Now, to get the Winnian back in this fight, Dagon needs to figure out some way to alleviate the stress on his melee troops. He's got to try and use his missile units to really sort of hammer the melee forces of his enemies the same way they've hammered him so far. Alright, it doesn't seem like the attack over here is still not yet. What are they waiting for? Seriously. No new forces. Oh no, we've got some more on halberds being moved up. It's a unit in tight formation. Hamlin Guard could fire a couple of volleys into them, but they're not going to. Looks like that's an opportunity lost there, unfortunately. Oh no, they're going to fire, but a little bit late. We'll get a volley in though. Just the one volley. Don't do it. Come on, stop, stop, stop. Oh no, they changed their targets. Elder Marches in loose formation. Now, after they marksman with no armor, won't last as long. Yeah, if that's going to fire into Lindon's forces, that's a small win there for the defenders. But Darthy's pulling back? No, big mistake there. Should have let them try to fire a few volleys into him. The terrain would have protected his troops for the most part. They could have handled that fire for some time. Very lucky that catapult shot to not go into the Trollshire Axe Thrower unit. This is one that hasn't fired their shots yet, I don't think. Only one or two kills so far with each shot. Okay, looks like the Moran infantry are going to kick things off over here. Strange unit to charge the pikemen alone. Alright, the Gondor archers are going to try and fire into Winged Swordsman's flank. He's got to press his front line forward a little bit. He's got to try and use the terrain to protect his forces as best he can. Right now, if I'm Pemberton, I want to fire directly into the backs here of the Rudar Swordsman, but luckily for Winged, they seem to be moving away for some reason. Maybe try and reinforce the attack on the other side, I guess. But there was an opportunity there for them to fire in this direction. Are they going to turn around and fire? Okay, they're going to bring down the Troll Slayers. They're down to 30. I would have stopped firing there. Gondor archers, they're firing into the gap. They're going after the catapult crew? No, they're going to fire into the Harmon Guard. Alright. Catapult seems to be in the wrong position at the moment. I don't know why it's still there. Okay, we've got the Evelyn infantry here on the front lines. These are the same guys that the Grey Company got their bows into, or arrows into. 12 to 16%. The attackers seem to be losing a bit of momentum in this fight. Defenders gaining a bit of wind now in theirs. That's fairly good fire coming in. Oh, come on, man. Where's the Wardens versus Tyrion when you need them? The Warriors can take a few volleys, can't they? I think the counter-attack from the defenders will stall once they get into the matter of sentries. Well, once they get into it with the matter of sentries. The Quinty Pikes are down to 13, so he needs to send up another unit there. If this fight continues as it is and doesn't change, and the defenders don't send up any new forces to try and bring down the amount of sentries, then they'll lose all these units. And the momentum will quickly shift back with the attackers. They can't win here with what they've got. The Wardens versus Tyrion can potentially turn things around. They can fire into the Nato sentries from up top, hit all the surrounding forces at the same time, make things easier for their front lines to continue to hold. Or if they have some more Mithril Marines or Fauna Marines, throw their javelins, try and hit the Nato sentries. There's also something else that can turn the battle back in the defenders' favour. Sending in the other marksman, this is what that is over there. That's not infantry, that's marksman. They won't do anything. Right now the defenders are falling into the hands of the attackers. Mithlon Pikemen, that could even the odds a little bit. But those pikemen need to work their way to the front lines. Okay, there you go. Sentry is at 53. Look on pikemen at 74. Alright. Mython pikemen seems to be holding the attackers' advance. They're losing. Defenders are losing on their left wing. They seem to be struggling against the Gondor infantry. Right now, there goes reserve troops. They're under fire. But we seem to have reached a bit of a stalemate. Both sides going hard at it. Looks like the troll catapult is out of ammunition. Prodom javelin's firing in. Trollster Axel is also firing in. Who's shooting? Gondor archers are firing. Who else is firing? Well, it looked like the fire was coming from somebody else as well. Head and Rangers. That's looking like a good target. Probably should fire in a few volleys now, mate. Let me get those Rudite swords moving just a little bit. Etymol's Tronters. Who are they trying to hit? The Troll Catapult, maybe. The Troll Catapult crew, we'd seen. Alright. Who the hell is shooting at them? We've got Sauron's Will over here. We got... Let's just see Evan Spearman. I'm expecting to see Rangers, Temple Guards, somebody. Maybe even Dunedain Rangers. Okay, Wing is opting to rely on his melee forces to hold the line. He's not going to use his Paradigm Rangers just yet. Well, Gondor Archers moving up from Pemberton. Come on, Wing. Move the Rangers a bit to where that palm tree is and fire across the entire attacking line. Relieve the pressure from the attack. The longer they don't use those Heritage Rangers, the better it is obviously for the attackers, because it allows them to push more further in and take out more of the defending forces. And right now the defenders are being shot in the back. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, that was bad. All javelins, pretty much a full unit there. Animal Front is getting absolutely hammered. That volley there was a little bit wasted. Okay, throwing javelins into the Rudite Swordsman. Probably take that any day. Proxima should have been a little bit more patient with using his ammunition there with the old javelins instead of shooting the Rudite Swordsman. Maybe should have saved those javelins for late game. The Heritage Rangers have been firing in for a little bit. See how quickly the Rangers turned the tide once they started firing just a few volleys. And beating back the attack. And the attackers are sort of, well, I say sort of gearing up for the next wave, but looks like we're a little ways off. There's only a few units here. Well, the defenders over here have got a bit of a breather. How are they going over here now? Okay, Missile Marines are firing. I'm not too sure who their intended target is. It could be the Battle of the Pikemen, it could be the Invader Sentries. We're about halfway through this battle now, at the moment. The momentum does feel as though it is with the attackers right now. Missile Marines providing some great support. And more importantly, Dorwinion is winning on their left flank. That's enabling them to get around the Belaga Pikemen, attacking them from their right flank. It does make it easier to bring them down. Relieves the pressure on the frontline units, which right now are facing a forest of spears being pointed at their faces. But the defenders need to reinforce that left flank. I don't know if McQuinty Pikes is the right way to go at the moment. I just say that because if they put pressure on the left flank and move it, and they beat back the attacking forces on the left, they can wrap around and attack the pikemen from both the flank and the rear. And that brings down the attack a whole lot faster with little casualties done to the defenders. This frontline assault just means that more defenders will take more damage. Yes, they might win in the short term, but in the long term, it could swing the attacker's way. Well, this appears to be just a bit of a grind fest at the moment. We got some Raven Helms of Kandros moving up. I don't know why Dartha didn't put his wardens up there. It's always been a great spot for rangers in the past. It's protected, the attackers can't really get to it. The Winion's catapult is still here. Why is it here? In the wrong place, I reckon. Take my comments with a grain of salt, but I reckon they're in the wrong place. Okay, nice volley from the javelins. I took down one of the Olaghai. Bloodied up the rest. Hang on, what's going on over here? Okay. The unit's still healthy, they're still in the fight. We've got some Gondor militia infantry over here at the rear. Why are they here? With no other troops nearby besides this unit, the Ridar swordsman should have tried to charge into them. The Ridar swordsman would have won that fight, for sure. Anyway. They're still alive. Armed infantry's over there. He's got a Hunt on guard. Blackwald's down to 24. Trying to hold back an army at this point. Frodham Javelins, they are targeting the Ura Captains and Dunedain Troll Slayers. Also maybe trying to hit the yellow high. Alright. It looks like the attackers are almost ready to go in for the next wave. Most of the archers, I suppose, do have a shot on the defensive line. We've got wardens in the north up there. No, that's where the wardens of Tyrion are. It's not wardens of the north, that's wardens of Tyrion. Wardens of the north of Arthedain. Jeez. If the catapult were on that ledge there, on that ridge, they could be hitting the Pelican Marines and Temple Guard right now.
We're under attack.
Nice shot from the Frodden Javelins. Maybe the Frodden Javelins are out. Herodane Pikeman under heavy pressure. I think this is his second unit. The Herodane Rangers are firing in. They're trying to take out the Pelican Marines and the Avid Archers. How long can the Herodane Pikes last? They've popped a few volleys now from the Javelins. With some Edgewell's Trons, there's a fresh unit moving down. Grand Rangers could be looking for a better firing position. Blackguard of Barad-dûr making their move. The attackers feel confident they can win here. Okay, Rangers are firing into the block of Arthedain and Gondor forces. Not so much the Blackguard. Edward's Tronters are going to try and fire into the Blackguard, it would seem. But Darthy's getting in his way a little bit. The Rangers are out of ammunition. Edward's Tronters under heavy fire. They don't have a shot. Or do they? I'm trying to fire into the Orc Javelins. Okay, the catapult could have been handy. Is it stuck? Is the catapult stuck? Potentially, maybe it is.
Half the enemy force remains.
I don't know. Diego hasn't moved it in some time. Of course, the fence is down to 19, so... No, McQuinty boats are firing. Diego is still with us. I don't know. Question for Diego. What's going on with the catapult? Were you just saving it for late game? Was it stuck? I'm just curious to know what was going on with that catapult there at that point in time. Like, what was the plan with it? These McQuinty Glade Masters So Diego's throwing everything he's got pretty much into this defense here. Save your ammo, it's just one course offensive. Well, they stopped firing because they're either out of ammunition or they're saving it. One of those two. Yeah, they're saving it. Okay. It's a little bit strange he'd chuck in his Nandor Glade Masters when he's facing up against Anadorus sentries. It's not a fight that's in their favour. And so far the line's pretty straight. The defenders aren't winning on the flanks, so they can't wrap around the pikemen. And with the Fountain Guard moving up, again, this is going to be a good opportunity for the Wardens versus Elistirion to make an appearance, I swear. Or firing archers from that hill, even, into the Fountain Guard. Diego is fighting a losing battle by staying here with the forces he's got. And the fact that Lindon is not using their wardens, the fact that we don't have archers firing from that hill. Got some archers firing in, but they're not in a good spot. Hence why we're only seeing a few arrows come this way. They need to stand on that hill, a catapult even. Get the catapult on that hill, fire into the Fountain Guard. There's still a chance of friendly fire, but for the most part, I think the odds are on your side that you'd hit the enemy troops far more than your own. Okay? You got to weigh the risks, and I think the risks is worth firing into the Fountain Guard with a catapult from that hilltop. Or better yet, get a catapult in position and then select all these troops, tell Darky to put his troops back as well, and then fire the catapult into the Outlandish sentries or Fountain Guard, and then just hit the whole front line. Try and take out as many of these elite troops or the attackers as you can. You don't have to always stay and try and grind it out. You can look for ways to bring down your enemy faster, like set a trap and then spring the trap. Your enemy might see it, they might not. Harmon Guard is here. Okay, Mikundi Glade Masters plowed through the Avid Marches. They're getting some great kills. Lindon forces are trying to wrap around the attackers' push. Who's shooting at them? Okay, the Wardens of Elistirion are over here. 65 to 60. Okay, the Frodo Javelins, they're targeting the Arcanine Pikes on the left there. We have some Orc Javelins moving around. That's not the end of the world. Jeez, this amount of Forest Area Knights, huge hit there. 4 of them Javelins took them to town.
Bloodied. They have lost half their men.
It's kind of strange the attackers will continue to push on the right flank and try and get through that gap, knowing that there's Mikundi Glade Lords just hovering around the back there ready to hit any enemy forces that get by their defensive line. You know, short of sending, like, you know, the only units you can send down this way in a situation like that is spears or pikes. Sending up melee forces through that gap is suicide. Your forces are going to get charged and, well, most likely you're going to get killed. Now, the Glade Lords here have a lot of room to maneuver. They can charge into the Athelian ranges, and also recharge into the enemy melee forces. It's just archer units here so far. Oh boy, here comes the Duno Troll Slayers. Could be bad. Oh, what happened? Oh, it's like the Great Lords got stuck. Okay, here we go. Oh no, they pulled out of their charge. Why? Oh well, that happened. Frodham Javelin is running interference. Wing's doing everything he can to protect the rear of his troops as they surround the enemy. Those Dithilian Rangers are going to be a problem. They're damaging the Black Wolves and the North forces on the left flank. Frodham Javelins, they can't get to the Rangers. Artillery men at arms are protecting them. We've got a huge bunch here of defending forces. This is not good. Good for the defenders, great for the attackers. Most of the forces here, they're all dead. They're all either dead or broken or about to be defeated.
We've lost half of our men.
Defenders could face certain defeat if they stay here.
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Oh, Pemberton, you couldn't ask for better. Oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. Swordmasters are trying to get into them. Well, Mython Swordmasters broke, but the sacrifices bought the defenders enough time to move their forces out of that giant blob they were in. And so, well worth it. Nice initiative there from Darthy. He saved a lot of his lives, a lot of his troops' lives, and that of his allies as well. Okay, Warrenzel's Tyrion are over here. The attackers are pushing their way through further and further. The Glade Masters are down to 30. They've got a few men on the flanks, but this attack here, this defense is not going their way. This is more of a delaying action than anything else. This won't get the defenders anywhere. Like, even having the McQuinty bows on this hilltop firing in would be helpful. But again, what would be more helpful is to have an archer unit up here, not even the wardens, the archers, the McQuinty bows, firing right down there. Would definitely help the defending forces survive and potentially win that fight. Status quo doesn't change, that battle will go the way of the attackers 100%. What's going on here? Is the swordsman being defeated? Maybe they have been defeated. Brito swordsman down to 1. Okay. So it looks like the attackers have dealt with them. $77 to 73. Now, Marist has only sent up a couple of units so far, so most of their army is still pretty healthy. It's certainly been a roller coaster of a siege so far, I tell you what. Gone this way and that. Defenders looking like they're about to lose control, but then seizing control back. It's been close. That's almost just trying to get around those pikemen. Yeah, I can't have that. He's got to protect these pikes. The artillery marksmen still have ammunition. I don't know why they're being sent into battle. Maybe that was a mistake. Armor guards up top. Okay, doing atrocities will start firing into the Mython Swordmasters. If those Harmon Guard up top there have ammunition, then they need to get down there. And I tell you why they need to get down there. They gotta get down here in this little space and fire into those Athelian Rangers and those Dunedain Troll Slayers. The more that the... oh no, hang on. It's been reinforced by Invaders. It looked like they were about to break through the Dodge forces. And once they had broken through, then the Athelian Rangers had a chance to fire one or two volleys into them that could have shredded... well... by shredded, I mean hit all the troops in this blob here, the defenders. And they look pretty tired, exhausted, and very bloody. Invaders looks like they'll win this battle. Because, well, A, they're fresh. And B, I'm not really seeing any missiles coming in to hit them, and the angle's not great. Okay, looks like we're seeing the first of the Northern Guard units here. He's careful. Go watch out for the Troll Slayers. Northern Guard's pushing through. The Rangers aren't firing. Okay. The ones to the north. Looks like they're starting to fire. Here we go. You're going to see a lot of fire come in now. The ones that's Tyrion. What are they firing into? Okay, they're trying to kill all the Rangers. Northern Guard shut down the ones of the north. So it's been elderly swordmasters moving up. Warrens of the north firing point blank into the Northern Guard. Oh geez, those Richmond slavers better back up the Northern Guard, or at least trying to hold off as long as they can. Is that? No, that's Dunedain Troll Slayers. It's just the commander. Well, it looks like they're trying to finish up these unit of Hell Enemy Spearmen before they turn around and try and help out the Northern Guard. So Northern Guard has to shoulder a bit of weight and try and hold out. With that murder, easier said than done. Northern Guard under a lot of pressure right now. The Glade Lords could actually hit the Wardens of the North.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. The enemy army flees.
Alright, they just charge into the Dunan Troll Slayers. Spearmen are almost finished. Murder's going to do a nice charge here into the... Oh! The Slavers turn around just in time and counter-charge. Valors, it seems like they keep getting stuck on the Dunan Troll Slayers.
Only half the enemy force remains.
They had the Lancers out.
We're under attack.
Is that Northern Guard? No, it's Hanlon Guard. Murder unit's been broken up. So the defenders, they're fighting here. They're going to try and win here. But the Battle of Axgard being brought up. It's the second unit of a matter of centuries. There's another unit, Northern Guard. Who do you target? No, Northern Guard's making a mistake here. They shouldn't charge into the Battle of Axgard there. They're about to break through on their right flank. If they charge in like that, they're going to get surrounded later on. Oh, jeez. Mython Swordmasters and Mukuni Glade Masters, they're down to 22. From the attackers right now, what do they have left out here? They got some back axe guard, Harvesters. What are they? Adamant, come on man, kick it up a notch. Get your forces up here. If I'm Adamant right now, you want to send in your Harvesters of Casimir, basically everything you've got. You want to try and aim it for this, for the defender's right flank. You want to try and break through here, surround Northern Guard, and then just cut them down. They've made great ground here on their left flank. That's the area they need to push right now. And if you're Lindon, you want to bring up your Northern Blade Masters, whatever you've got here, charge through the back of the Axe Guard, break through, try and chase off the Crosshair Crossbows, Belliger Archers, whatever you can. Bring up more troops if that's possible, and just try and keep the sentries and Gwatha Arthan busy until your forces are dealt with those missile units, and then you can turn around and come back and try and do to the attackers what I suggested the attackers do to the defenders a moment ago. Just surround them and cut them down. Northern Guard's down to 28. They've lost a lot. So they just evaporated. What's going on? We got some McQuinty bows up here. They're out of ammunition. Probably should be lined up and ready for battle. We've got some Wardens vs. Tyrann ready. The catapult is abandoned, so it looks like they're out of ammunition. Maybe Diego ran out of ammo a long time ago. Northern Guard, there's the Blade Masters there.
Our army is tiring.
It is 92 to 89. Where are the Swordmasters going? The Wardens of the North are down to 27. The Wardens of the North are running away somewhere. Where are they running to? No, they're running away from Northern Guard. Okay, I don't know if Darthy should play this game of cat and mouse. Oh, jeez, maybe they should. No, the general's running away. Darthy, come on. Bring your troops back up the hill. Finish off the elves here. And then move into cover. Force the Wardens to come to you. Wardens vs Tyrion. They're targeting the Corsair crossbowmen. Landmass is down to 6. Probably should target the Belk of Axe Guard instead of the Kronos Legion. Axe Guard are a greater threat to the remaining melee forces of the defenders. 94 to 90.
Our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
Alright. Well, most of the Wing's army here is already destroyed, so that's not really a big loss. You see that Darthy's getting his troops to the high ground. That's good initiative right there. Now, it looks like Diego and Darthy are sort of working together a bit here. The Infinity Bows won't last too long, but they might last long enough. They're just trying to buy time, I think, for the Harmon Guard to turn around and fire into the massive blob of attacking forces. Won't get too many kills, but we'll do a bit of damage. They pretty much dealt with the attackers on the other side, so the defenders can expect a small influx of reinforcements. Not a lot, but a little bit. They're being forced back. Every arrow gives the defenders one more chance. Must be out of ammunition. Modern Blade Masters are moving themselves where they're being shot at by the attackers. Where are they running off to? Are the attackers through over here? I thought the defenders... Oh no, the defenders somehow had it. Must have been a mass chain raid after the general fell. That's interesting. Alright, no influx of reinforcements. The Blade Masters are headed this way to try and deal with the last of the Madarus forces. Which they will. The Blade Masters, they're 100% healthy. Well, minus a few shots that copped them back just now, but... it's going to be tight. We're almost finished here. Defenders rely on the Hammer Guard here to win the battle. It'd be better if somehow the Hammer Guard went to the forefront of the line instead of the Hammer Guard. That way the Hammer Guard would be supporting the Hammer Guard. Wouldn't be receiving as much of the damage from the attacking forces. Hammer Guard here is down to 34. We're trying to push through.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Well, they've cut through the elves and they're about to finish off the wardens of the north. Then they got to get back to the battle over there. Bit of a gamble from Darthy to run this way and do all that, but it was relatively fast. See, the Harbinger of Casimir and the Modern Blade Masters, both of those are the two main elite units that are still in the battlefield that are still relatively healthy right now. Won't be healthy for long. Jeez, look at those Blade Masters. Oh, they're stuck on that building, or they're stuck fighting somebody. Oh, there's a general there. There's a Nazgul. He was calling too many crossbow bolts there. This will just go the attacker's way. They're still fighting the Nazgul back there. Here he comes. Proxima might have forgotten that he has the Nazgul still alive.
Our ally lies dead. Without their general, they may lose heart.
Okay, there goes gone.
Our men have slain the enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Okay, they took out the Amaris general. Of course, their crossbows have snuck behind the Blade Master line.
Our ally lies dead. Without their general, they may lose heart and flee.
97 to 100. Came down to just a handful of forces. Attackers lucky to walk away with the victory on this one. It was a great play. So well done to Adamant for cleaning up back there and taking the victory for the team. Winged Swordsman 44, 2,785. Diego Ria H. Ramos, 2,386. Darth 2,245. Proxima Centauri, 1,257. Pemberton, A62. ... 808. Adamant, 752. Joey 1 Kenobi, 1209. Okay, Witcher 1 Slavers 161, Harrenhal Berserkers 107 to 129, Prodom Javelins 132 to 289, Trollshire Axos 105 to 169, Harridan Rangers 535, Trollshire Axos 105 to 169, Harridan Rangers 535, Rudar Marksman 138 to 148, Harridan Pikemen 83 to 223. Blackwells didn't do that well this time around, and the Rudar Swordsman 104, and the rest didn't perform anywhere near as good, so unlucky there to them. Still, awesome battle. Well done to the attackers on their victory today. Hard fought, guys. And for the defenders, that's why you got to have archers or rangers at the top of that area next to the. That's why you got to have archers or rangers near the citadel at the top there to fire down to the enemy below. There was a good vantage point for the defenders. They just didn't take advantage of it, and in the end, that definitely helped the attackers achieve victory today. No question. Thank you to Winged Swordsman though for sending me the replay. Very close, very nice. This is Scouts Entertainment signing off. Ready your weapons, guys and girls, and I'll see you all in the next Total War battle.